We have got yet another Walmart closing. What is going on? Well, Walmart says it's closing a store in Albuquerque because it's underperforming, which is otherwise code word for it's effing dangerous. Some shoppers say it was rampant with crime, and police visited hundreds of times last year. Why did the police need to visit a couple hundred? Yeah, we're going to get into it. We're going to see how bad is it in Albuquerque, New Mexico for Walmart to have to leave. Let's do this. Here we go. Michael Thomas shopped at the Walmart at 301 San Mateo Boulevard Southeast in Albuquerque, New Mexico every week for roughly 3 years, up until 6 months ago. What happened? He began to see more people stealing items from the store. Sometimes he saw shoppers physically attacked. Do you have stores? Do you have stores that you don't go into? I have a 7-Eleven that probably one of my top 10 7-Elevens, mainly because it's very close to my home. I will no longer go into that 7-Eleven because we've got homeless people that go there. Homeless people the drug addicts, they seem to like to target 7-Eleven. The Chevrons that I go to, those don't seem to get targeted nearly as much. I think it's because the homeless know, the vagrant drug addicts know that the folks who run the gas stations, yeah, they're packing heat, and they aren't afraid to show a little muscle when it comes right down to their stores being robbed. I've also noticed that the mini marts that I frequent, both happen to be Chevron. They have very strong security. Like, they know where everybody is in the store at all moments. It's all on big closed caption TV screens. And there's somebody always checking it out. And every now and then you'll hear, hey you. And they'll be talking to somebody in the back that's just pocketing a bunch of stuff. 7-Eleven, not so much. I don't know what the major difference there is, but I've got a 7-Eleven I just won't go to anymore. And it's, the closest one to my house. No go there. No go. I'm going to go to one where I feel safe. So this guy's saying sometimes he saw shoppers physically attacked. When I'm going into my mini-mart run, I'd rather not get attacked. And I know you probably feel the same way, because that's just not a reasonable thing to expect. All right, well, I'm going to go get myself a little snack. I'm going to get some organic potato chips, whatever you're going to get. I'm going to go get a Slurpee. Yeah, no, you're not going to do that. You might get a Gatorade Zero, maybe the white flavor, because, that can't just be totally filled with chemicals that kill you. Tastes delicious, hydrates you. Hydration's key, right? You want to go to a store you're not going to have a problem, where you feel comfortable. And I physically started to feel less comfortable in the 7-Eleven, the one 7-Eleven in my neighborhood that I'm down to. The other 7-Eleven where I used to live 4 years ago got totally shut down, and it is it's totally graffitied up now. It's vacant and boarded up, and just a terrible look. So when Walmart said last month that it would be closing the store, Thomas wasn't surprised. It's very sad, he told Insider, because there aren't many retailers with stores in that part of Albuquerque, but it's expected, he said. So this is the pattern that we are seeing continually, aren't we? This is the pattern. In areas where you had lots of shenanigans go on, you defunded the police, you've got leadership that, basically stated, we're fully supporting defund the police. We've got all these progressive ideas, approaches to crime, approaches to prosecuting crime, approaches, all this stuff that has gone in the wrong direction. It's gone in the wrong direction. The San Mateo Boulevard store is set to close on March 10th after opening in July of 1985. According to Walmart spokesperson Lauren Willis, the store has 287 employees, all of which are eligible to transfer to another store in the area. Don't you love it how these stories always try and make it seem like, it's just going to be a slight change. They'll all be good. They'll all get their jobs. No, it doesn't work like that, does it? Store only has so many jobs available at any given point in time. They certainly don't have 287 jobs available. They might have a handful. So those people are eligible to transfer, but whether they can transfer or not is yet an entirely different story, right? That probably won't happen. A bunch of these people are going to end up on an unemployment because there's been so much progress made in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Now, in this next paragraph, we're going to talk about it. Walmart did not answer questions about whether crime rates at the Albuquerque location were responsible for the decision to close it. And they never do they? They don't want to burn their bridges. They can't really come right out and say, man, our store is dangerous. It's dangerous. They can't really come out and say that because that's just like shooting themselves in the foot. And if they ever do want to come back to that location, hey, I thought you said it was dangerous. Well, I did a big turnaround. It's all gentrified. It's all good now. We're not heading in that direction right now, are we? But Albuquerque police officers had their hands full with the store in the past year. The Albuquerque Journal reports that 708 calls were made requesting police service at or near the store in 2022. 708 calls. Damn, I'm no mathematician. I'm really not. I mean, I can, stats I'm pretty good at, mean, median, and mode. I got those down. That's all you really need in real estate, right? But for the mean, which is the average, you've got almost 2 calls a day. 2 calls a day for inside the store or at this location. Police have to come out. And that's Monday to Friday and weekends too. Every damn day. Just, it's what you got going on. So at some point in time, when corporate's going through those big meetings, which store is underperforming? Oh yeah, the Albuquerque, New Mexico. How many times did we have to call the police there? 708? Geez, this isn't a tough call. Close that bad boy down now. And these are just not that hard of calls, right? These are not that difficult. You take the ones that are financially having a tough time. You see if there's some other extenuating circumstances, and everybody is aware of how much criminal activity is increased, because if you're a manager, you do not want to have on your resume, this was the guy that was covering the store when 3 employees were killed by a shoplifter. They don't want to deal with that. They don't want to deal with anything impacting their customers because it's not a good look. It's just a terrible look. Life is hard enough. People want to be able to go in, buy their stuff, get out, and move on with their lives in a peaceful manner. That's what I always want to do. Whenever I'm going into Trader Joe's, I never think, oh my gosh, am I going to get assaulted here? I never have to think that, right? Because that's why I go to Trader Joe's, because it's got a bunch of nice people in it that, they probably don't have the same opinions as I do at all, but they got food that I like. So I'm just, I'm going to go down that road. There are people there. There are even people that work at Trader Joe's, believe it or not, that are reasonable. I know it's hard to imagine. I know it is, but I've actually run into them. Good folks. Yeah, they like to work for that kind of company, and away they go. There is no single cause for why a store closes, Willis told Insider. We do a thorough review of how a store performs and weigh many factors before making the difficult decision to close a facility. It's me. It's not you. We're going to do this because I really need to get a handle on accountability for what I've got going on. Therefore, I got to leave this relationship. Don't worry. It's not you though. It's not you. Well, it is you in this case. You in this case is the city of Albuquerque, and me is Walmart. And I'm just saying, I don't think so. Homie, don't play that game, right? Not playing that game. Out. And you can't blame them. If 708 times made calls, either at or right at, in and or around the store. That's a lot of criminal activity, right? That's a lot of complaints. She added that the Albuquerque Police Department has been a great partner, and we are extremely appreciative of their efforts to combat crime at this store. When you have to say that, that's when you know things are out of control. Now, I haven't covered a lot of Albuquerque, New Mexico, Democratic mayor, Democrat governor, gone down this road. Yeah. So hence, therefore, right? I mean, this is how you get where you're going. Albuquerque city officials are now looking into buying and repurposing the closing Walmart store. I did look this up. By all accounts, it still looks like this store is open, but from everything in the media, I could tell it was being closed down. March the 10th was given as the official date, but there's nothing that I could find media-wise that would indicate they're no longer closing this store down. They're still closing it down. They probably just kicked out the date a little bit for whatever reason. So Albuquerque City Council President Pat Davis recently told local media outlet KRQE News that the store and property it sits on could be used for housing, a new grocery store, a pharmacy, and other small businesses. Well, here's the thing with that is that you might look at it as an opportunity to redevelop a, area within your town. But if you don't take care of those underlying problems that you've already got going on with criminal activity, this rebuild that you're going to do, this redevelopment you're going to do, is going to suffer the exact same fate, and it's going to go nowhere. And you're going to be 0 for 2 on the same damn location in a very short period of time. And that's what happens when you've got people who don't understand business and how a little thing like public safety can impact a business. Now, the CEO of Walmart came on. Was it Walmart or Home Depot? Can't remember now. They're all getting jumbled up. All these companies closing. I think it might have been Walmart. He came right out and said, you got 2 options. Here's your 2 options when people keep stealing stuff. Either the prices go up, we kick up our prices, or we shut stores down. And that's what we've got going on here. We're shutting stores down. If you have 708 police calls, yeah, what do you got going on there? You've just got a criminal enterprise, and you've got a bunch of drug addicts stealing stuff from Walmart and selling it for their next fix. That's what you got going on. Not that hard to figure out, right? They just need housing. Well, treatment's housing. So how about that? Oh, no, you got to wait for people to make that decision, because otherwise, they're not vested in the process. Whatever. Mayor Tim Keller said in a press release, investing in a solution that can help fill the void is important. And it's key that it be a community-driven decision on what that ultimately looks like. And what I would say there is that investing in a solution. Why don't you actually invest in a solution, get all those people off the streets and into treatment? And the ones that don't want to go, well, then you put them in jail and you figure it out, but you make it miserable for them to live a lifestyle based on drugs within your community. Do that, and you will have invested in a solution that can help fill the void. That's what you will have done. But these cities that go down this road, they're not willing to address it yet. They're not willing to address the problem. They're not willing to address the problem in such a way that it's going to have a positive impact. It's just not going to. So, for me, it's great because I'm going to have podcasts for days. I already do. Some days I wake up and I go, no way. There's no way that other store is closing down. Because I see it as, well, there's a story for me. And the flip side of that story is every time I have a positive story for me and for you to consume, it means some people in that community are going to be negatively impacted badly. People who can't get their prescription drugs, older folks that are dependent upon a local store where they don't have to do some crazy crosstown traffic deal to get there. People who don't own a car, lower socioeconomic people from the BIPOC community. That's who's impacted every single time one of these Walmarts shuts down. And that sucks. But it's also the way it is. So, what's good for one group, for me, this is my topic. This is what I cover. And, a lot of this has to do from the standpoint of, it impacts real estate. And that's where I started all this was, hey, let's cover some public safety things that are going on that don't make a lot of sense, that just simply aren't reasonable. Let's cover that. And now it's just like growing exponentially because more and more areas are being impacted. More and more businesses are saying, you know what? We're done here. We're done. We're not playing this game where this is not sustainable. So instead, what you're hearing now on the regular is they've gone from that this is not sustainable to we're done. We're out of here. Boom, we're done. And how many stores have I already podcasted that on? A lot. And you know what? There's a whole ton more coming, is my opinion. Because why would this stop? Why would this cycle of drug addiction, homelessness, and crime in the community being stealing from your local Walmart or Target or whatever it is, Home Depot, whatever it is? Man, I was buying an electric pole trimmer, I think they call them. I got it from Harbor Freight. It's awesome. $59 on sale. It's the best. I have the best pole trimmer ever. Right? It's a little mini chainsaw. It's a 10-inch chainsaw on the end of what is actually a fairly heavy pole that extends out to 10 feet, 8 inches. I got to trim up these 3 apple trees in my backyard, and I don't want to do the huge lift or huge ladder because, afraid of falling off the ladder and breaking a leg and, that whole thing. So, I went to Harbor Freight. Nothing is locked up. It's great. Whereas Home Depot, I was at Home Depot the day before looking for a tool like this, and everything is locked up at Home Depot. Everything is locked up as far as, any kind of tool. It's just literally you've got everything like below waist level is all boxes of locked up stuff. Then you've got your display case where everything is, on a hook or whatever. And then above that, next couple of things up, picture a tall guy jumping up and reaching at something. It's about up to that high where you've got the rest of the stuff all locked up. Your shopping experience at these big box stores now is like, all right, I got to call the guy to come over and open this up. And maybe I'll be able to get out of here in like 3 hours after, all of that. And that's if they can find the product, the box of the thing that you saw on the display that you want. That's if they can find it. So investing in a solution that can help fill the void is important. Well, that is, but if you're not dealing with the key underlying issues, I got podcasts for days. And you've got round 2 on redevelopment of something that, didn't work first time round. So definition of insanity. Yeah. Doing the same thing over and over and over, expecting a different result. Kind of sounds like that, doesn't it? Yeah. But these community leaders, these business leaders, they have to say that. They have to spin this, because if they sat down and said, you know what, this is all my fault. This happened because of decisions I made for the community. This happened because decisions as a city council we made. We take full responsibility for our actions. No, they're not doing that, are they? They're not doing that. They're blaming everybody else for their problems. And then when it really comes down to it, we're just going to redevelop this. This will be fine. This will be great. Yeah, well, we'll have that grocery store again. Well, why don't you have a grocery store now? Well, because you had to call 911 708 times. There was so much criminal activity around that store that they left. So your small little grocery store, that's going to suffer the exact same fate. Whatever businesses you put back into that same spot, going to suffer the exact same fate. It's not that hard to figure out, right? It's just not. For some people, it seems tricky. The Walmart is one of at least 8 stores closing soon across 5 states in the District of Columbia. These closures come months after Walmart president and CEO Doug McMillon warned in December that select stores will close if high theft rates didn't slow down. So there's my answer. It was the CEO of Walmart. He said, we either raise your prices or the stores close down. Well, the San Mateo Boulevard store itself is located in Albuquerque's International District, which has been called by locals the war zone for decades due to high levels of criminal activity. I never want to go too hard into that kind of stuff because it almost appears, kind of racist. You know what I mean? But all you got to say on this one is 708 calls for police in a year. One former Albuquerque resident who moved in 2020 and asked to remain anonymous due to privacy concerns told Insider that in his 3 years delivering supplies to the McDonald's inside the Walmart, I had several incidents occur. I can't imagine they were positive either. People tried to break into my truck, he said. I used to pay a homeless guy to watch my truck when I had no other choice but to go into this store. That's not a testimony for great workplace environment, is it? How was your last job? Oh, it's good, but I had to pay a homeless dude to watch my rig while I ran in for 2 minutes inside to take care of whatever before I came out and did whatever with my stuff in the truck. I had to pay a homeless dude on drugs to watch my rig. It's like, oh, yeah. Well, there's that, right? He added, it had a lot of theft and violence. I don't blame them for closing the store. Nobody's blaming Walmart. No, but I'm not. You might blame Walmart, maybe because they're just, they don't really have a lot of concern for their employees, is what a lot of people say. A lot of people say, hey, they source their products from places that have child labor. All right. Okay. All right. I get it. I hear you. And that's important to you. I don't do a lot of shopping at Walmart. I don't. I shop at Fred Meyer, which is, I don't know, different, but yeah, both have food. And I find Fred Meyer, and a lot of areas of the country don't have Fred Meyer, but it's also just it's like a big department store with good grocery section. That's what it is. And it's not super expensive, but it's also not cheap either. But their groceries, they've got a bunch of good organic stuff. Walmart, different. When my boys were in high school and we had a lot of social gatherings at the house, Walmart was a go-to for refreshments. I'll just leave it at that. How's that? All right. So another Walmart bites the dust. Albuquerque, New Mexico. What other Walmarts do you think will have close? A bunch. And I'll cover them for you right here on News for Reasonable People. Thanks for joining. Thanks for being part. Love to have you subscribe, hit that like button, share the content if you think there's somebody out there who might benefit from this. Don't forget to check out our reasonabletv.com. That's our subscriber site. We've got members only on there. Yeah, there's stuff. I'm putting a lot of podcasts on there because there's stuff that, other entities don't want me to release. I release them there. Thanks for checking it out in advance. I'll catch up with you in the next one. Bye for now.